Have you been wondering what you can do to get employers to hire you? Today's video is all about my top 5 secrets to making employers want to hire you. Disclaimer: this video is for information purposes only. All opinions expressed herein are solely my opinion. You should not treat any opinion expressed in this video as a specific inducement to follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of my opinion. My opinions are based upon information I consider reliable, but does not warrant its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. Hello, my name is Charlie, and I'm a career consultant here in Canada. Okay, so let's jump in. What are my 5 top tips or secrets to getting employers to want to hire you? So the obvious question when talking about employers and what they're looking for, well, obviously they're looking for, do you have the education? Do you have the skills? Do you have the work experience to work here? Those are the 3 basic questions that any employer looking at your CV, your resume, are going to ask you. So my top secret number 1 is all about skills. So tip number 1 or secret number 1 is you need to be clear on what your skills are, and you need to have examples to demonstrate that you have these skills. So what are you good at? What do you have to offer an employer? What are the skills that you are bringing to the table? What skills are helping you stand out? What skills do you have that will impress the employer? If you're not sure what skills you have, ask this simple question. What skills do I do well? So the question is, when you were doing those tasks, what did you accomplish? What skills did you use to accomplish your task? How did you apply your skills to stand out, to complete the exercise? What did you do differently to be successful? So if you're wondering what skills you have, one way is often to look at what compliments people around you have given for the things that you do. Another way of identifying our skills is we tend to do the things that we're good at. So if you're noticing that you're drawing a lot, maybe you're an artist. If you're singing a lot, maybe it's because you're a good singer. We tend to do the things that we're good at. Just keep an eye on that. Write it down on a piece of paper. It's about how you use these skills to get the job done. This is where the evidence is. It's not a list of tasks, but it's how we got the task to completion. This is where your evidence is. So tip number 2 is make sure you score high on the likability scale. So it's not about how many likes you received on Facebook or Instagram. It's not about if you're popular or not popular. Likability is about the relationships that you create. It's about your interaction with others. Are you friendly? Are you polite? Are you honest? Likability is about relationships and emotional intelligence. EQ, it's your self-awareness, your self-regulation, your motivation, your empathy, your social skills, your conflict management, and your collaboration. It's about respect, attitude. It's about personality. It's about trust. Will the employer like your personality? Will you get along with the other co-workers? Does your personal brand match with what the employer is looking for? So let's think about it for a minute. Let's reverse the roles. If you had to hire someone who scores really high on the likability scale versus another person who is always complaining and who have many conflicts with the coworkers, which employee would you hire? Remember that the employer is not only looking for someone who has the right skills, right education, but he's also looking for a right fit. He's looking for someone who is likable, someone who's going to get along with the others, and basically who is going to enjoy working for or with this employer. And if you approach them on a positive note, you will increase your chances of being perceived as likable. And the people we like, we tend to want to do things for. The people we like are the people we want to connect with. The people we like are the people that we don't mind doing a referral to an employer for. So likability is really important here. Tip number 3 is, do I know you? Or does someone I know or someone I trust know you? And are they prepared to send a referral on your behalf? So your network. Often we say it's all about who you know. What I prefer saying is, it's not about who you know, but it's about who knows you. It's about who can talk positively about your skills, about your character, and about your personality. And last but not least, who can talk about your work ethics. If you know somebody who's already working for the organization or for the company, you increase your chances tremendously, especially if they can refer you and if they can give a good word, if they can talk about your professional work. And if you do have these meaningful connections, reach out, because maybe they can do a referral on your behalf. So the first step is to look at your network. Do you know friends, family, neighbors who work for that company or that industry? If so, reach out. Second, you should use your social media. Do you have friends on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn? Of course, they need to be meaningful connections. And if you do have these meaningful connections, reach out, because maybe they can do a referral on your behalf. It's time to nurture that relationship. It's time to reach out and inquire on how that person is doing before even talking about the need for a referral. The funniest thing is that most people don't think of social media as a tool to actually do exactly that, to socialize and to reach out and to connect with people. Every day, people are using Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, all with the hidden agenda to network and to help them identify job leads and connections. These are great tools in today's market. Many are using that as valuable tools to network with our friends and professional network that are in our industry. So the next step is always underneath networking is to increase your networking contacts. So how do we do that? So the best time to increase your networking contacts was yesterday. But the second best time to increase your networking contacts is today. I'm just going to take a few minutes to remind everyone that it's not just sending a message on someone who's on Facebook and saying, oh, by the way, could you refer me to this company? Before doing that, you should rekindle the flame. You should reach out. You should inquire on how this person is doing. You should show interest. Send them a quick email, send them a quick text, inquiring on their health and how they're doing, acknowledging that it's been a while since you had a time to chat. And as the conversation will progress, there's no problem with you mentioning that you're in the process of job hunting and this is the type or this is your goal, and mention what kind of jobs that you're looking for. Second, your attitude will be really important when reaching out. So if you're reaching out to complain about your life and to complain for the fact that you're unemployed and you do not have a job, that is not necessarily the best way of rekindling a relationship. You will increase your chances if you are approaching them on a positive note. So if you're going to reach out, please remember that people do not like to be used. There's nothing that will be it's a big turnoff. If I haven't spoken to you in 2 years and you're just reaching out and asking for a favor, because people tend to believe like, oh, you only have time for me because you need a favor. So this is not the approach that one should take. Treat them as if they matter. Treat them as a person that you care about and that you really want to connect with. So by asking them questions and inquiring on their family and their health and their job, and reminding them of past good times, of activities that you've done maybe together, is probably the first step when we want to rekindle a relationship. Keeping in mind that the small gestures are substantial. So for example, remembering someone's birthday on Facebook, acknowledging someone who has done something for you in the community, or has done something in the community, and you want to acknowledge how much it was appreciated. So a gratitude note will do amazing things. So don't hesitate to acknowledge and to send thank you and birthdays and happy anniversaries. These will definitely help rekindle your relationship. Another example is as simple as commenting on their latest photo on Facebook, on Instagram. So a thumbs up, a like is definitely acknowledging it, but even writing a few comments, a few positive comments, will also be really appreciated by the person that you're trying to rekindle that relationship. My most important point here that I want to make is it's never about what you can do for me. It should be about what I can do for you. So if you're approaching it in terms of something that you can offer this person, either there's an event or there's an activity coming up and you want to volunteer your time, or you want to invite that person for supper, for lunch, or you want to join him on doing an activity, playing hockey, playing a sport, this is probably to your advantage. It's really not complicated. We tend to help people that we have a good rapport with, the people that we like, the people that we have a relationship with. So making sure that you invest in that relationship will help you on the long run. So tip 4 is, have you done something to impress me, to stand out? And if so, what is it? Are you going out of your way to be more valuable? It's important for you to stand out. Be the exception. Be the person who will do the extra step. Be the person who can solve the employer's problem. Show, are you doing any activities or learning a new skill that will impress the employer? Are you going that extra mile? So are you motivated to learning? What are some strategies to improve your skills, to impress your employer? Knowing enough about the company, understanding the company challenges, knowing what you can offer. What skill set do you have to solve the company problem? Knowing how you can help a company grow, offer your unique skills, and if you want to be hired by this employer, maybe attending employer events, maybe volunteering with that employer. It'll certainly be important for you to read up on the employer, learn everything you can on the employer's website, attend industry-related conferences to build your knowledge and contacts. Tailor your social media to reflect your skills. So before I go to tip number 5, let's do a summary. So if you're serious about finding a job in Canada and you want to stand out and you want employers to hire you, remember, tip number 1 is, what are your skills? What are the skills that you have to offer an employer? Tip number 2, Do I like your attitude? Are you likable? Will I like you? Will I work well with you? Will the others in the plant, the company, will they work well with you? Make sure to stay current. Make sure that as the industry is evolving, that you're also doing continuous learning. As they're using new software, new skills, make sure that you keep yourself up to date. Number 3, continuous learning is key. Taking responsibility and being accountable for your own professional development will certainly impress an employer. Tip number 4 is be the exception. Do the extra step. So employers today have many applicants to choose from. Not only do they have a high number of applicants, but they have a high number of applicants who have high skills. So therefore that means there's a lot of competition. How will you stand out? How will you be noticed? And finally, but not least, let's look at tip number 5. Tip number 5 is your marketing material. So you need to remember that your CV or resume is definitely a marketing tool that will talk to the employer about your education and your work experience. But more importantly, your CV is an opportunity for you. It's an opportunity for you to talk about your accomplishments, your skills, and what you have to offer an employer. Second is the cover letter. Do not underestimate the power of the cover letter. It's your opportunity to impress the employer. It's your opportunity to add information that will catch the employer's attention. The next one is my favorite, which is the interview. So the interview for sure is an opportunity where we're going to be able to give examples to demonstrate or to prove that we have certain skills, that we have the education that they're looking for. But more importantly, it's the opportunity for us to shine. It's the opportunity for the employer to see our personality, for us to show our attitude, our eagerness to work for this employer. And last but not least is the follow-up. Do not forget to send a thank you note following the interview, maybe the next day, for example, to acknowledge that you appreciated the time given to you, and to remind the employer that you are still interested, you remain interested in working for this company.